In Drummond Hill Cemetery, many claim to have witnessed soldiers from the past returning to this one-time battlefield. A waitress on her way home from work cut through the cemetery. Although this was her normal route, on this particular night, for some reason, she felt uneasy. With every step, this feeling grew. It was as though she was being watched. She stopped for a moment and looked behind her, and though she saw nothing, she was unable to shake this sense of fear. It wasn't until she was beyond the gates of the graveyard that she felt safe. Now, from outside, she peered in. To her astonishment, she saw 3 soldiers, and then, in an instant, they were gone. Confused and frightened, she left the cemetery, vowing never to cut through there again. In the War of 1812, Niagara Falls was a strategic military location. For the Canadian and British forces, it was a passage point through which they could expand the territory under their control. For the Americans, it was a direct route to infiltrate the opposing forces garrisoned in the area. As a result, many skirmishes and heavy battles occurred.
We're here at the Drummond Hill Cemetery, where on July the 25th, 1814, was the scene of the bloodiest battle in the War of 1812 between the British, Canadian, and natives on one side and the approaching American forces on the other. It was hot, it was humid. There were bodies all over the place because of the humidity, because of the stillness in the air. The gunpowder just made the air around here like soup. Friend and foe were accidentally killing each other because they couldn't see the enemy. The Americans retreated, and the Canadians won the Battle of Drummond Hill. Approximately 1,700 soldiers, the average age of 15, lay on the field, dead or dying.
One day, a local man took his normal shortcut through the cemetery to get home. He had heard countless stories about the legend of Drummond Hill, but never believed them. In the distance, he saw a strange male figure, then another, and yet another. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, the 3 soldiers vanished. The young man dismissed the experience, deciding that his eyes must have been playing tricks on him, and he continued on his way. However, as he walked further down the pathway, an unsettling feeling came over him that he couldn't shake. When he glanced back, he saw the same 3 ghostly soldiers advancing toward him. At first startled, then frightened, he ran off in an attempt to escape the gun-wielding trio. He stopped for a moment to glance back at his pursuers. The 3 spirits were still right behind him. He sprinted away as fast as he could and never looked back again. The individual identities of these 3 soldiers remain a mystery. It is believed that they died at the Drummond Hill battle, protecting the British line. Perhaps they were 3 friends, fighting and dying side by side.
Over the years, the Drummond Hill Cemetery has become somewhat of a tourist destination for Americans and Canadians alike. But recently, a new kind of tourist has shown up here, the ghost hunter, the paranormal seeker, the researcher. There have been specters of lights photographed. There have been soldiers as if standing guard over certain tombstones. Truly, this has got to be one of Canada's most haunted graveyards.
This unlikely tourist destination attracts thousands of history and war enthusiasts every year. One such visitor came to admire the graveyard's historic headstones. However, on this night, he would encounter more of the past than he had bargained for. The spirit of one of the three soldiers made it clear that this cemetery was still under their guard. While the shaken tourist was physically unharmed, he was shocked and confused by what he had just experienced. This history buff decided he had seen enough of Drummond Hill and its phantom century. The soldiers who paid the ultimate price and gave their lives for the good of their country believed so strongly in their commitment that it seems even today, 2 centuries after the bloody battle, at least 3 of these brave men continue to uphold their duties. And according to many visitors, startled by the ghostly trio who protect the cemetery, they should still be commended for a job well done.